400,000 lights on the National Mall, 400,000 flags planted on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., right up the road. And now it's time for accountability. It's time for justice. Because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So I just finished watching the ceremony on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., at which President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris spoke, albeit very briefly. And I saw the scene, 400,000 Americans who died as a result of the coronavirus. This ceremony was a remembrance. It was in honor of those 400,000 Americans lost. So tomorrow is a day of transition. Tomorrow, we are transitioning from a president who cared only about himself to a president who cares about others. And the task before us is clear. Making sure that a president who victimized the people of the United States of America is held accountable for what he did. 400,000 families lost a loved one to the coronavirus, and we all know it didn't have to be that way. You know, folks, long ago, I reached the conclusion, as a former federal prosecutor, for 22 of my years, I was a homicide prosecutor. I reached the conclusion, based on the available evidence, the publicly reported evidence, that Donald Trump's conduct satisfies the three elements of involuntary manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide. Different jurisdictions call that level of homicide by different names. But those three elements, the three things that we must prove beyond a reasonable doubt, you've heard me talk about them before if you've watched earlier videos. The three elements are simple. That President Trump acted in a grossly negligent way, or he had a duty to act and he failed to act, and that failure was a product of gross negligence. He did both of those things, but it only takes one. That's the first element. The second element is that his conduct, his grossly negligent conduct, was reasonably likely to result in death or serious bodily injury to another. That's clear based on the fact that he was dealing with a deadly pandemic. So his conduct satisfies element number one, gross negligence. Element number two, reasonably likely to result in death and serious bodily injury. And element number three is that he thereby caused the death of another. Causation doesn't mean he shot or stabbed or bludgeoned or strangled someone. It means that his conduct was a substantial factor in bringing about the death. And it was. So early on, based on the available evidence, I concluded, as a homicide guy, we could go into court and prove that he's criminally responsible for coronavirus deaths. And then I heard the Bob Woodward tapes way back in, I think it was January, February. And he was telling Bob Woodward behind closed doors in recorded interviews, Bob, this is so deadly. This pandemic, it's so dangerous. It's more deadly than even your more aggressive flus. And Bob, this is so easily transmitted. It's airborne, Bob. It doesn't take touch to transfer. It's airborne. You just breathe. And Bob, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. And in the next breath, he went out and told the American people, there's nothing to worry about. It's going to disappear like a miracle. 15 cases will still be down to 0. The warm weather will kill it. There is nothing to worry about. In fact, he made fun of people who wore masks, sending the signal, you have nothing to be concerned about. And he mocked people who tried to take safety precautions. Even before that, I believe the evidence satisfied all 3 elements of criminally negligent homicide. But after that, after we learned he lied to us, he put us in danger, he withheld information from the American people that could have saved lives. And it's not only Donald Trump, folks. Mike Pence was the head of the coronavirus task force, and he let Donald Trump's lies to the American people go unchecked, uncorrected, even though as head of the task force, he clearly knew how deadly, how easily transmitted it was. And he let Donald Trump lie to us without correcting the record or the information, without protecting the American people. And Jared Kushner, who in substance said, let it run wild through the blue states. Folks, we as a nation did the first half of the job of justice. We did the first half of the job of accountability because we voted him out. We did our part. And now it will be time, starting at 12:01 tomorrow, for President Biden and for the Department of Justice and the incoming Attorney General to do their part. We, the people, can only do the first part, and we did. We voted him out. That was half of the accountability calculus. Now we need our elected officials to do the second job of justice, the second part of accountability, by prosecuting the people who are criminally responsible for needless, for preventable coronavirus deaths. Because we all know that there can be no justice without accountability. And don't 400,000 dead Americans and their family members and their communities deserve accountability and justice? And justice matters. And as always, folks, thank you for tuning into these daily videos. If you want to more formally support our all-volunteer efforts, you can go over to patreon.com. You can sign up to become a patron. You can join Team Justice proper. We have a lot of projects that we are getting after, that we're putting together, full citizen involvement in government. And we invite you all, we welcome you all. So if you would like to sign up to become a patron, please go over to patreon.com. If you do, I will send you some Team Justice stickers and a personal handwritten note of thanks. You can find me over on Facebook, Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner, and on Twitter, all day and night trying to answer your legal questions, at Glenn Kirshner 2 on Twitter. So, folks, we're going to wake up with the same corrupt, callous, uncaring president tomorrow morning. But we are going to go to sleep. We are going to go to bed tomorrow with a kind, caring, empathetic, patriotic, supportive, determined President of the United States, Joe Biden, and Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. Better days are coming. Please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.